Welcome back to the program. Well, let's go back to Perth where James Manning is standing by and we're going to have a chat about some of the other major media news events from through the week. James, I want to start with MasterChef, which it seems like we talk about it every week, but this was a big ratings winner when we saw Heston Blumenthal on the program.
Yeah, absolutely. Did fantastic business. It was the biggest ratings they've had this year. He guessed it on the program. I think it was Monday night. He just got the contestants to cook, I think it was a burger and chips and a milkshake.
Yep.
Yeah, keep it simple, and it rated fantastic. The people really like those celebrity chefs, and they don't come much bigger these days than Heston Blumenthal.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a simple burger, has to be said. While we're on the topic of MasterChef, one of the contestants found with a mobile phone. What was this story about?
Yeah, well, everybody assumes it was a mobile phone. Ten's keeping pretty quiet on this one. I think they're keeping quiet because they want to try and build the suspense until it breaks on air, because it'll be some amazing TV when it happens. It's about 4 weeks away when we get to know what really happened behind the scenes. But this is contestant MasterChef Matt, as distinct from judge MasterChef Matt. The judge has got 2 T's, the contestant's got 1. But yeah, he's been turfed out of the program. He's been gone for about 2 weeks, it seems. And yeah, we're just going to have to wait. Somebody does come back to the show to take his place. We sort of know that much.
Interesting. Something else also at Channel 10, whether you call it a scandal or whatever, but the Kim Duthie interview on 7pm Project.
Yeah, it was sort of a bit of a disappointing interview, but then not that anybody was surprised by that. And it was revealed later that the 7pm Project paid her an appearance fee. She came on air, made a lot of claims, and then they kept the cameras rolling after she'd finished. It was a pre-recorded interview, and where she said, "Oh, gee, everything I've just said was a lie." Bit of a debate whether they should show that clip, and they did show it, and yeah, but it left a empty feeling in a lot of viewers' mouths.
Oh, look, I mean, she's come out with more this week, and certainly the media has been criticised for feeding this story, which I suppose you could say we're doing now, but I guess we're looking at a different point of it. But sorry, I'll move on. This is a good story. Shine Australia, some of the co-founders of that, Mark and Carl Fennessy. Now they've been given bigger and better roles at Shine Global. Will they be staying in Australia or moving offshore?
Carl will be actually relocating to Los Angeles, where he's going to be CEO of Shine in the US, but he'll sort of make appearances back into Sydney to sort of keep tabs on the business. And Mark will be staying in Sydney, but he'll be having a sort of a global role with out of London. So there'll be a fair bit of travel there too for him, but he'll be keeping his home in Sydney. It's been an amazing success story, these two guys. A little over a decade, they were sort of running a relatively small independent production outfit, Crackerjack. They moved on to run Fremantle Media, did great things there with it, and then of course later signed on to expand Elizabeth Murdoch's Shine Group into Australia.
Yeah, real underachievers, aren't they?
Yeah.
It looks like we've discussed this before, that the next round of reality programming is going to be focusing on renovations as opposed to food, James. We're just days away from the launch of Series 4 of The Block. This is sort of a new look one, because of course we've got the renovators as well, so they'll be going up against one another. You've seen the houses on The Block. What do the contestants have in front of them?
Yeah, I have a peek inside there. They started with some real old dumps. It was just amazing. These, the houses were sort of filled about half the block, and there was just dirt backyards. They didn't have sort of internal bathrooms. There was a sort of a group outside laundry and bathroom area that was shared by all the houses. There'd been squatters living there, so we're talking real wrecks. The 4 homes, I don't think Nine want me to spoil too much, but it's going to be some amazing work to if they can manage to pull off these renos. I think things they do, one of them even manages to put on another story, and it's just in an amazing short period of time.
Don't know what to say about you spoiling Nine's party. This is a sad story, actually. Nine's Ray Warren diagnosed just the other day with prostate cancer. He did, though, commentate on State of Origin last night.
Yeah, he reported for work last night, so it's business as usual for him, but he's got a few sort of medical hurdles ahead of him, so we sort of all wish him well, absolutely. The ratings last night were very good, better than Game 2 last year, and sort of great news for Nine, of course, that each New South Wales and Queensland have each won a game now, so that means massive interest going to be in Game 3 in Queensland and New South Wales, of course, and we'll even push up the numbers a little bit in other states. People are curious just to see who wins the series.
Yeah, it does seem New South Wales definitely needed a win to start getting people to keep watching the series. Let's just turn to Print News Limited. We've got some staff movements at the Geelong Advertiser and also the NT News.
Yeah, new editors at both those newspapers. Matt Cunningham is taking over at the NT News, taking over from Julian Ricci, who's moving back to Sydney in a role on their News Central post. The new editor at the Geelong Advertiser, Nick Paps, taking over from Steel Talon down there.
Okay, I presume the NT News will continue to have pictures of crocodiles on the front page every day. It's very important.
Yeah, well, Matt's been working there, so he's well
he knows the
ropes.
formula.
How to get those croc stories in there.
Yeah, excellent.
Absolutely.
Now, former ACP editor Alison Vanessa McGordy's been she's got a new employer. She's working for a top fashion designer.
Yeah, she signed on with Colette Dinnigan as a consultant, if you like, because she's got a great fashion pedigree in magazines, editor of Harper's Bazaar for a long time, took on the challenge of trying to build an audience for Grazia. You know, it was a really tough call. The jury's still out on whether that magazine's been a success or not. You talk to their competitors, it hasn't. So, yeah, she's moved into the fashion field.
Okay, James, we'll come back to you for a chat about the ratings in just a moment, but we've just got some global media news. Internet radio company Pandora has struck a note with investors, gaining solid interest in the group's initial public offering. Now, when it first started trading, shares opened at $20 on the New York Stock Exchange, up from the IPO price of $16. Interest mirrored that of other recent internet IPOs. Russian search engine Yandex NV gained 55% on its debut, while professional networking site LinkedIn doubled. Yet while Pandora boasts both a fast-growing user base and revenue, it still isn't profitable, unlike Yandex and LinkedIn.
The ringing of the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange adds a new note to a growing melody of highly desired initial public offerings from the internet sector. Shares of the internet radio company Pandora Media immediately soared as much as 48% right out of the gate after its IPO priced at $16 a share the day before, which was above a higher range. The company has yet to turn a profit, but is now valued at around $2.5 billion. That's created a lot of skeptics. CEO Jeff Kennedy, however, defended the business model.
We're focused on providing a great experience for our listeners and also a great platform for advertisers. And I think we've got a good track record of meeting both of those objectives. Again, using the power of the internet to do something that's just dramatically better than people have historically experienced with radio.
Internet is once again the hot sector for IPOs. LinkedIn's debut last month was well received and is holding strong, setting up the stage for a Groupon IPO later this year and a possible Facebook debut next year.
Well, let's look at the ratings for week 24 in the free-to-air space. Australia's Got Talent taking out the top spot this week, followed by Downton Abbey in at second, MasterChef on Monday, Wednesday and Thursday in third, fourth and fifth spots. Dancing with the Stars in at sixth, 7 News Sunday in seventh position, 9 News Sunday came in at eighth this week, while MasterChef on Sunday and Tuesday took out positions 9 and 10 this week. So, James, MasterChef still going pretty well. Would you be expecting that Heston Blumenthal episode from this week will be next week's ratings winner?
Yeah, no, I guess the State of Origin will be number one probably next week, but it'll be certainly up there. Australia's Got Talent also did very well this week, but definitely top 3, maybe top 2.
Yeah, and Downton Abbey, is that sort of seems to have consolidated itself up the top?
Yeah, definitely, yeah, but that's here for the long term. They're working on a second series of that, so Seven will be very happy about that. I think there's more episodes than there was in the first, so that'll run through and do very nicely for them.
Seven, I suppose, must be looking forward to getting MasterChef off air.
Yeah, but they're going to have to face up to Junior MasterChef after that. And as you mentioned before, that Renovators is on the horizon too for 10, which is also being made by Shine. So be seeing if that's on air at the same time as The Block. It promised to be some fascinating clashes there.
It will be really interesting, I think, to see how Renovators and The Block go up against one another in terms of ratings.
Yeah, we spoke to Channel 10 last week to David Mott, their Chief Programming Officer, trying to sort of get out of him when they're actually going to program this because they're promising that it will be on air the same time as MasterChef. Now, both of those shows will be running 5 nights a week, so it's going to be tricky how they fit that into the schedule.
Okay, let's have a look at the subscription TV ratings for week 24. Sport, first of all, NRL Tigers v Knights in at number 1, followed by Sea Eagles versus the Cowboys and Raiders versus the Cowboys. In AFL, Hawthorn v Fremantle in at 4th, and Adelaide versus West Coast in the number 5 spot. This week, taking a look now at non-sport, Beanie's Restoration Nightmare in at top spot, followed by Tony Robinson Explores Australia. Grand Designs coming in at 3rd, followed by Futurama in 4th. America's Next Top Model rounding out the top 5 this week. Restoration Nightmare seems to be in the top 5 quite a lot, James. I think the lifestyle viewers on Foxtel really driving numbers there.
Oh, absolutely. They just can't get enough of that. Those renovation programs, English ones, Australian ones, you know, does fantastic business. And taking back to our earlier conversation, you know, it all goes well for those local programs on the free-to-air channels.
Before we go, a shout out to the media executives taking part in this week's Vinnie's CEO Sleep Out. A huge contingent of bigwigs from Southern Cross Media taking on the challenge, led by CEO Reece Holleran. ABC Managing Director Mark Scott will be there, along with our very own Peter Switzer from Sky News Business. News Limited boss John Hartigan is one of the night's biggest fundraisers and is also sleeping out.
I think in a civilised society, it's just intolerable that you can have the numbers of people sleeping in the street that we have. And furthermore, I truly believe that we're all only, you know, a couple of bad breaks away from finding ourselves in a similar situation. And St Vincent de Paul, you know, the Bog Irish in me says that they're just about as good an organisation as you can get. So I'll stand up and salute them.
James, will you be keeping an eye on them at the Sleep Out in Perth?
Yeah, they're down at the Wacker here tonight. I think Gary Roberts is there from head of the local Nova station. There'll be some Southern Cross people from Perth will be there too, so we'll certainly be going along and check it out. Yeah,
a huge contingent from Southern Cross. They really should be congratulated for pulling all the stumps out and doing that. James, thank you. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, Kylie.
And that is all we have time for. From the team here, thanks very much for your company.